The feeling that nothing is fun anymore. In the tapestry of human experience, there exists a thread that, when pulled, unravels the very fabric of our contentment. It's a feeling that creeps upon us, often unnoticed at first, until suddenly we find ourselves enveloped in a fog of indifference. This is the sensation that nothing is fun anymore, a state of being that philosopher Soren Kierkegaard might have recognized as a form of existential despair. As we delve into this profound emotional landscape, we must first acknowledge its universality. You are not alone in feeling this way. We as a collective human consciousness have all touched this void at some point in our lives. But what does it mean when the activities that once brought us joy now leave us feeling hollow? This feeling is more than mere boredom or a passing phase. It's a symptom of a deeper malaise, a disconnection from the vital force that makes life worth living. In our modern world, bombarded by constant stimulation and instant gratification, we've paradoxically numbed ourselves to genuine pleasure. The dopamine hits from social media likes, the fleeting satisfaction of online shopping, the endless scroll of content, these have rewired our brains, raising the threshold for what we consider enjoyable. But let us pause for a moment and ask ourselves, when was the last time we truly felt alive? When did we last engage in an activity not for its outcome, but for the sheer joy of the experience itself? These questions are not merely rhetorical, they are invitations to introspection, gateways to understanding our current state of being. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate. In our context, this doesn't mean resigning ourselves to a joyless existence, but rather embracing the challenge this feeling presents. It's an opportunity to reassess our values, to redefine what brings us genuine fulfillment. Consider the possibility that this feeling of nothing being fun anymore is not a dead end, but a crossroads. It's our inner self crying out for authenticity in a world that often feels artificial and contrived. This discomfort is a call to action, a demand for change from the deepest recesses of our being. So how do we begin to navigate this labyrinth of lost pleasure? The first step is awareness. Recognize this feeling for what it is, not a permanent state, but a signal that something in your life needs to shift. Acknowledge it without judgment. Observe it with curiosity rather than fear or frustration. Next, we must challenge our assumptions about what constitutes fun in our consumer-driven society. We're often sold the idea that fun is something external, something we can buy or achieve. But true joy, lasting pleasure, comes from within. It's not about the activity itself, but our approach to it, our state of mind as we engage with the world around us. Think back to childhood, when the simplest things could provide hours of entertainment. A cardboard box could become a spaceship, a puddle an ocean to explore. This capacity for wonder and imagination still resides within us. It's simply been buried under layers of adult responsibilities and societal expectations. I invite you to embark on an experiment. Choose an activity you once enjoyed but now find mundane. Approach it with the mindset of a child encountering it for the first time. What details do you notice that you've overlooked before? What sensations arise as you engage with it fully, without expectation or judgment? This practice of mindful engagement can begin to chip away at the wall of indifference we've built around ourselves. It's not about forcing enjoyment, but about opening ourselves to the possibility of joy in unexpected places. As we continue this exploration, remember that the feeling that nothing is fun anymore is not a life sentence. It's a call to evolve, to dig deeper into the essence of what makes us human. In the words of the philosopher Alan Watts, the meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple, and yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into the societal factors contributing to this pervasive sense of joylessness and explore practical strategies for rekindling our capacity for genuine pleasure. But for now, I leave you with this question to ponder: if you could design a life filled with authentic joy, unbounded by societal expectations or past habits, what would that look like? Allow yourself to dream, to imagine possibilities beyond your current reality. For in this act of imagination lies the seed of transformation. The alchemy of rediscovery, transmuting existential ennui into profound engagement. As we continue our journey through the labyrinth of lost pleasure, we must confront the societal structures that contribute to this pervasive sense of joylessness. Our modern world, with its relentless pace and constant connectivity, has created an environment where genuine engagement has become increasingly rare. We find ourselves in a paradox, surrounded by more options for entertainment and stimulation than ever before, yet feeling a profound emptiness at our core. This phenomenon is not merely a personal failing, but a collective experience shaped by the very fabric of our society. The philosopher Jean Baudrillard spoke of hyperreality, a condition where the lines between reality and simulation blur, where authentic experiences are replaced by artificial constructs. In our pursuit of efficiency and progress, have we inadvertently created a world where true joy has become elusive? Consider for a moment the nature of our daily interactions. How often do we engage in deep, meaningful conversations versus superficial small talk? How frequently do we immerse ourselves fully in an activity, losing track of time and self compared to multitasking and half-hearted participation? The constant fragmentation of our attention has eroded our capacity for deep engagement, the very foundation of genuine enjoyment. But we are not powerless in the face of these societal forces. We have within us the capacity to reclaim our joy, to rediscover the wonder that once colored our world. The key lies in conscious choice, in deliberate action to counteract the numbing effects of our hyper-connected existence. One powerful approach is the practice of digital detox. I challenge you to set aside a period of time. It could be an hour, a day, or even a week where you disconnect from all digital devices. Use this time to reconnect with the physical world around you. Engage your senses, fully feel the texture of the bark on a tree, listen to the subtle nuances in a piece of music, savor the complex flavors of a home-cooked meal. In doing so, you begin to retrain your brain to find pleasure in the immediate, tangible experiences of life. Another transformative practice is the cultivation of flow states. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi described flow as a state of complete absorption in an activity, where time seems to stand still and self-consciousness fades away. This state of being is closely linked to feelings of profound enjoyment and fulfillment. To invite more flow into your life, seek out activities that challenge you just enough to require your full attention, but not so much as to overwhelm you. This could be learning a new skill, engaging in a creative pursuit, or even approaching a familiar task with renewed focus and intention. As we embark on this journey of rediscovery, we must also examine our relationship with discomfort. In our quest for constant pleasure, we've developed an aversion to any form of discomfort or boredom. Yet, it is often in these moments of discomfort that we find the greatest opportunities for growth and self-discovery. The next time you feel the urge to reach for your phone out of boredom, resist. Sit with that feeling. Explore it. What lies beneath the surface of that discomfort? You may find that within that void, creativity and insight begin to emerge. The philosopher Aristotle spoke of eudaimonia, a state of human flourishing that goes beyond mere pleasure to encompass a life of virtue and meaning. In our modern context, we can interpret this as a call to align our actions with our deepest values and aspirations. I invite you to reflect on what truly matters to you. What activities or pursuits make you feel most alive, most authentically yourself? How can you incorporate more of these into your daily life? This process of realignment may require us to let go of certain habits or beliefs that no longer serve us. The Zen concept of beginner's mind encourages us to approach each experience with openness and curiosity, free from preconceptions. Can you bring this mindset to activities you've dismissed as no longer enjoyable? You may be surprised at what you discover when you let go of expectations and engage with fresh eyes. As we navigate this process of rediscovery, it's crucial to cultivate patience and self-compassion. The feeling that nothing is fun anymore didn't develop overnight, and it won't dissipate instantly. There may be moments of frustration or doubt along the way. In these times, remember the words of philosopher Pierre Hadot, who said, "There is no need to be dismayed if one doesn't become perfect overnight. It is progress simply to want to advance, simply to step out on the way." I challenge you to take one small step today towards rekindling your capacity for joy. It could be as simple as spending 5 minutes in nature, fully present and aware. Or perhaps engaging in a creative activity without judgment or expectation of the outcome. The specific action matters less than the intention behind it, the commitment to rediscovering the wonder and joy that exist all around us, waiting to be noticed. As we conclude this segment, I leave you with a question to ponder. What if the feeling that nothing is fun anymore is not a problem to be solved, but a doorway to a deeper, more authentic way of being? How might your life change if you viewed this feeling not as an obstacle, but as an invitation to explore the vast landscape of human experience more fully? In our next segment, we'll delve into the role of meaning and purpose in our quest for genuine enjoyment and explore how cultivating a sense of connection to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us can transform our experience of life. But for now, I encourage you to sit with these ideas, to let them percolate in your consciousness. For it is in the spaces between thoughts that true wisdom often emerges. The tapestry of meaning, weaving purpose into the fabric of existence. As we delve deeper into our exploration of the feeling that nothing is fun anymore, we arrive at a crucial juncture, the intersection of pleasure and purpose. The philosopher Viktor Frankl, drawing from his harrowing experiences in Nazi concentration camps, posited that the primary drive in human beings is not pleasure, as Freud suggested, but the search for meaning. This insight offers you a powerful lens through which to view our current state of existential ennui. Consider for a moment how often do we engage in activities not for their inherent enjoyment, but for some external reward or validation. In our pursuit of happiness, have we mistaken pleasure for fulfillment? The hedonic treadmill, a psychological phenomenon where we quickly return to a baseline level of happiness despite positive or negative life changes, suggests that the pursuit of pleasure alone is not enough to sustain long-term satisfaction. Instead, we must turn our attention to the cultivation of meaning. But what exactly constitutes a meaningful life? This is a question that philosophers and sages have grappled with for millennia. While there's no universal answer, we can identify certain elements that contribute to a sense of purpose, connection, growth, contribution, and transcendence. Connection refers not only to our relationships with others, but also to our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. In our hyper-individualistic society, we've often lost sight of our fundamental interconnectedness. I challenge you to reflect on your own web of relationships. How deep are these connections? Do they nourish your soul, or do they merely fill time? Cultivating authentic connections requires vulnerability and presence, two qualities that are often at odds with our fast-paced, efficiency-driven world. Growth involves the continuous expansion of our capabilities and understanding. When we stop growing, we start stagnating, and it's in this stagnation that the feeling of nothing being fun anymore often takes root. But growth doesn't always mean forward motion. Sometimes it means going deeper into what we already know, uncovering new layers of understanding. The Zen concept of Shoshin, or beginner's mind, encourages us to approach even familiar experiences with fresh curiosity. How might your daily life change if you adopted this mindset? Contribution speaks to our innate desire to make a difference, to leave the world a little better than we found it. This doesn't necessarily mean grand gestures or world-changing actions. It can be as simple as a kind word to a stranger or tending to a small patch of garden. The key is to shift our focus from what we can get to what we can give. In doing so, we often find that joy returns to us multiplied. Transcendence involves connecting to something larger than ourselves. This could be through spirituality, art, nature, or any experience that lifts us out of our everyday concerns and connects us to the vastness of existence. When was the last time you felt truly awestruck? These moments of transcendence not only bring joy but also provide perspective, helping us to see our troubles and boredom in a new light. As we weave these elements into our lives, we begin to create a tapestry of meaning that can sustain us even when individual threads of pleasure fray. But this weaving is not a one-time act, it's an ongoing process of engagement with life in all its complexity. One powerful practice for cultivating meaning is the ancient Stoic exercise of negative visualization. This involves regularly contemplating the loss of things we value: our health, our loved ones, our possessions. Far from being morbid, this practice can actually increase our appreciation for what we have, reigniting our capacity for joy and gratitude. Another approach is to engage in what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi calls vital engagement, a state of being fully present and absorbed in meaningful challenges. This state, similar to flow but with an added dimension of significance, can arise from any activity that aligns with our values and stretches our capabilities. What activities in your life provide this sense of vital engagement? How can you incorporate more of these into your daily routine? As we cultivate meaning, it's important to remember that this is not about adding more to our already busy lives. Often it's about doing less, but with more intention and presence. In the words of the philosopher Blaise Pascal, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Can you create space in your life for solitude and reflection? It's often in these quiet moments that we can hear the whispers of our deepest purpose. I invite you to embark on a thought experiment. Imagine you are at the end of your life, looking back. What would you want to see? What experiences, relationships, and accomplishments would give you a sense of a life well lived? Now, bringing your awareness back to the present moment, how can you align your daily actions with this vision? As we navigate this journey towards a more meaningful existence, we must also confront the inevitable obstacles: fear, doubt, societal pressures. The philosopher Soren Kierkegaard spoke of the dizziness of freedom, the anxiety that comes with recognizing the vast possibilities of our existence. This anxiety is not something to be avoided, but rather embraced as a sign that we are engaging with life at a deeper level. Remember, the feeling that nothing is fun anymore is not a final destination, but a signpost pointing us towards a more authentic way of being. By weaving purpose into the fabric of our daily lives, we create a resilient foundation that can withstand the ebbs and flows of circumstance and emotion. As we conclude this segment, I leave you with a question to ponder. If you knew with absolute certainty that your actions mattered, that every choice you made had the potential to ripple out and affect the entire web of existence, how would you live differently? Sit with this question, let it percolate in your consciousness. For in grappling with such profound inquiries, we often uncover the very purpose we seek. In our final segment, we'll explore practical strategies for integrating these insights into our daily lives, creating a sustainable practice of joyful, meaningful living. But for now, I encourage you to reflect on the ideas we've discussed, to test them against your own experience. For true wisdom emerges not from passive acceptance, but from active engagement with the profound questions of existence. The alchemy of joy, transmuting existential ennui into radiant being. As we reach the culmination of our philosophical odyssey, we stand at the threshold of transformation. The feeling that nothing is fun anymore, once a source of despair, now reveals itself as a catalyst for profound change. But how do we bridge the gap between understanding and lived experience? The key lies in consistent, intentional practice. Start by cultivating mindfulness in your daily life. This doesn't require hours of meditation. It can be as simple as bringing full awareness to routine activities. As you wash dishes, feel the warmth of the water, the texture of the soap bubbles. As you walk, notice the rhythm of your breath, the sensation of your feet touching the ground. These small acts of presence can gradually reawaken your capacity for joy in the mundane. Next, consciously create opportunities for flow experiences. Identify activities that challenge you just enough to demand full engagement without overwhelming you. This could be learning a new skill, engaging in creative pursuits, or even approaching familiar tasks with renewed focus. The goal is to lose yourself in the process, to experience that timeless state where action and awareness merge. Regularly engage in acts of kindness and service. This doesn't require grand gestures. Small acts of compassion can profoundly shift your perspective. Offer a genuine compliment, volunteer in your community, or simply listen attentively to someone in need. By focusing on what you can give rather than what you can get, you open yourself to unexpected wellsprings of joy. Cultivate a practice of gratitude. Each day, identify 3 things you're genuinely thankful for. Over time, this habit can rewire your brain to notice the positive aspects of life more readily. Remember, gratitude isn't about ignoring life's challenges, it's about recognizing the good that coexists with the difficult. Embrace discomfort as a pathway to growth. When you feel the urge to distract yourself from boredom or unease, pause. Sit with the feeling. Explore it with curiosity rather than judgment. Often our most profound insights emerge from these moments of discomfort. Regularly connect with nature. Spend time in green spaces, observe the changing seasons, immerse yourself in the rhythms of the natural world. This connection can provide a sense of perspective and renewal, reminding us of our place in the larger tapestry of existence. Finally, cultivate meaningful relationships. Prioritize deep, authentic connections over superficial interactions. Be willing to be vulnerable, to share your true self with others. Create spaces for genuine dialogue and shared experiences. Remember, the journey to rediscovering joy is not linear. There will be setbacks and moments of doubt. Treat these as opportunities for learning and growth rather than failures. Be patient with yourself and approach the process with a spirit of playful experimentation. As we conclude, I leave you with this final reflection: the feeling that nothing is fun anymore is not an endpoint, but a beginning. It's an invitation to dig deeper, to live more authentically, to engage more fully with the rich tapestry of human experience. By embracing this challenge, we open ourselves to a more profound, enduring sense of joy, one that arises not from external stimulation, but from the very core of our being. So I ask you, how will you answer this call to a more vibrant, meaningful existence? The choice, as always, is yours. May you approach it with courage, curiosity, and an open heart.